Welcome everyone to BiggerPockets Mortgage Mondays. I am David Green, your host of the BiggerPockets podcast, as well as Mortgage Mondays, and I'm here with my partner and broker of the One Brokerage, Christian Batchelder. Today we are going to be discussing relevant news with you. Rocket Mortgage is shutting down. Where are they? There's a little bit of nuance in this article, but it's information relevant to financing your future real estate, as well as the future of real estate support services like agents, loan officers, insurance providers, and more. You want to stay ahead of the curve. We want to help you get there in today's episode of Mortgage Mondays. Christian Batchelder, welcome to Mortgage Mondays. How are you today?
I'm doing good. David Green, man, the myth, the legend.
We've got big news in the mortgage industry. Rocket Mortgage is shutting down. You may have seen the commercials for Rocket Mortgage. They are Quicken Loans, sort of retail DBA or branding, and I believe that they switched Quicken over to Rocket. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, they were previously named Quicken. Now everything goes under the name of Rocket.
There we go. So if you guys have ever heard the name Rocket Mortgage, there you go. It was Quicken Loans retail side. So you could basically get a loan through Quicken going through a broker like us, or you could go there directly from the commercials that you saw. You know, before we get into this article, Christian, very quickly, is there a difference in price if somebody goes to get a Quicken loan through a broker or if they do it themselves through the retail channel, like if they click on a link on the internet?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually a common question because Rocket is actually one of our partners that we do underwriting and origination through. And it is very different. For those of you just aware, the name Rocket is not the same in every iteration. When you go through a broker, you go to the wholesale side of Rocket, which is where the broker is actually your originator. That loan officer does not work for Quicken. When you go to the wholesale route, you bypass a lot of the fees and expenses that Rocket has to take on in order to do a loan, salaries, expenses, office spaces. That savings a lot of time is passed on to the borrower. So on average, yes, the wholesale channels of these big conglomerate lenders, you know, I think of like Rocket, I think of like Loan Depot, are typically cheaper than if you go to them directly on the retail side.
Which is counterintuitive because I used to think, well, if there's a broker, there's a middleman, so it'd be more expensive, but it's actually cheaper. Going there directly is like going to the Nike store run by Nike. You're going to pay top dollar for Nikes versus going to Costco where they sell so many Nikes that Nike gives Costco a discount on the actual shoes. So when you go through a broker channel, you're sort of getting the homie hookup, you're getting the contractor discount, so to speak, because companies like ours do so many loans with companies like Rocket that they give our clients a break in the pricing versus if you go there directly, you're going to be paying full price. Now, it's not exactly true that Rocket as a company is shutting down, but Rocket Pro Originate, an arm of the company, is going to be shutting down. And this is pretty big news in the mortgage world. Christian, can you explain what Rocket Pro Originate was?
This is probably being blown out of proportion of some degree, but we like to, peel back the layers of news when it does happen in the mortgage space. Rocket Pro Originate was a very, very small branch of Rocket Mortgage. What they do is Rocket started this kind of ad generation to ramp up new business by reaching out to realtors, insurance agents, tax professionals, and other financial professionals, CPAs, things like that. And they allowed them to get their loan officer's license, and Rocket would sponsor them. What that means is that a CPA could do a loan. In reality, from the way I understand it, that CPA or financial professional was not doing the loan. The realtor wasn't, the CPA wasn't. A loan officer was doing the work on Rocket's side of the deal. But because that realtor or CPA was a licensed loan officer, they could receive commission. Essentially, this was a workaround to the banishing of referral fees in the mortgage industry, where a real estate professional or other financial professional could receive a referral fee for referring a loan to Quicken, now called Rocket, and get paid for it, right? That's usually not allowed in the mortgage industry. Obviously, this probably ran into some red tape. This probably ran into some financial regulators saying, hey, cut this out. You're basically just paying referral fees, which has led to Rocket backpedaling and shutting down that division.
Now, if you're a real estate professional listening to this might be news to you. Other professions like real estate agents, property managers, lots of people on the support side of real estate sales are allowed to receive a referral fee. So what that means is if you go to your favorite agent in California and you say, I want to buy a house in Wisconsin, the agent will connect you with an agent in Wisconsin, and then the Wisconsin agent will take part of the commission and pay your agent in California because they referred you. In the mortgage industry, industry, that is not allowed. The Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, also known as RESPA in the industry, prohibits loan officers from giving referral fees to other loan officers. And I did some digging and I realized it's because if a loan officer gives a referral to somebody else, they will usually bake the referral fee that they had to pay to get your business into your interest rate and you won't know it. So loan officers are not allowed to collect referral fees if they refer you out to another loan officer. Well, Rocket thought that they had found a way around this by having insurance agents and real estate agents get licensed as loan officers and then having Rocket themselves do the work of the loan officer, but the person referring them the business, which was usually an agent or insurance officer, was able to get paid for referring the business where normally they wouldn't get paid if they referred it to an actual loan officer who did the loan. It's not immediately clear how many originators will be affected by Rocket shutting down the Rocket Pro Originate platform, but it does look like legal issues have arisen. Christian, was this something that you knew was going on before this article was written?
Funny enough, I've actually been out to the Rocket headquarters in Detroit. This is actually a program that we were discussing, and I was curious how they were getting away with it. I spoke to my rep and a couple of the VPs at Rocket, and I just asked them, how you doing this? How you getting insurance agents licensed and paying them origination fees? And it turns out they probably shouldn't have been. Right. So the questions and the doubt on my half was, reinforced with this finding and shutting down the platform, which is probably in the best interest of the consumer because there is a little bit of a misrepresentation there. If your insurance agent is saying he's a loan officer, he's not really, right? He's offloading the work. He's offloading the responsibility off to Rocket's platform. And sure, he may be the name, but your Allstate rep is not doing a loan. He's a referral partner and pretty much a referral partner alone. The people in the background are doing the work.
Which sucks for the consumer because they're just trusting the person they talk to do the job. They don't know what actually goes into this. The official statement from Rocket Mortgage was, we made the decision to wind down our relationships with insurance agents, financial advisors, tax professionals, and real estate agents who have been originating mortgages on our behalf. So it looks like there's been a lot of people that were doing loans through this program when they weren't actually doing the loan. Rocket had someone on the back end that was your real loan officer, but you were just communicating through the insurance person, the financial advisor, the tax professional. Now, everyone has their own opinion on this. I'm sure if you were a CPA who was getting paid for loans, you're not very happy about this being taken away. I think this is better for the consumer. It's a little silly to think that everyone could do everything. If you know a lot about insurance, that does not mean you know how to originate a loan. It does not mean you know how to be a real estate agent. It does not mean you know how to be a tax professional or a financial advisor. Those are all areas of specific interest and skill. Now, you can learn how to do more than one thing if you put the time and the effort in. I fully believe that a mechanic could learn how to sell cars, could learn how to provide warranties for vehicles, and could learn how to be an expert race car driver. But just not that many people are actually going to put the effort into learning that many things. So what happens is the consumer gets a halfway job on all the different components of their transaction, and it makes real estate professionals look worse as a whole as they provide worse service, which I think everybody here that's listening to this can admit they've had bad service from a real estate professional in the past.
It's also just a misrepresentation, right? Am I getting my loan with Allstate? Am I getting my loan through X tax prep firm, right? No, it's just two different services that the same individual is kind of pretending to do. I do think this was the right decision from Rocket before any significant legal difficulties happened here. But, ultimately it's a learning experience for the company as a whole.
Now, here's why we're bringing this to you, Mortgage Monday listener. I anticipate, me personally, David Green, I can't speak for BiggerPockets, I can't speak for everybody else, that in the future, you will see more real estate agents becoming full service people. They're like, hey, I'm your loan officer, I'm your agent, I do your insurance, I do your taxes, I do your financial planning, and I will cook you a gourmet dinner on your birthday. The problem is with the way that real estate agent commissions have come under attack from a recent lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors, sellers are going to figure out that they don't have to pay buyer's agent commissions, which means that buyers are going to have to pay their own buyer's agent commissions. And we all know nobody's going to want to do that. So what you're going to unfortunately see, I think, is more sellers representing the buyer and the seller on the same transaction, which means a lot of real estate agents are going to be out of a job. When they try to figure out what can I do for a job, they're going to go from being a master of one thing into a jack of all trades. And the consumer is going to have a very difficult time knowing how good of a professional they're actually hiring to do their loan or represent them buying a house or provide them an insurance quote or do all the support services that are needed to build wealth through real estate. Currently, we have it very differentiated. You've got a CPA to do your taxes. You've got a bookkeeper to keep your books. You've got a real estate agent to help represent you on the purchase. You've got a loan officer to help fund the deal. You've got an insurance agent to provide you the insurance. You've got a property manager to manage the property. You've got a handyman or a contractor to do the repairs. You've got lawn people that are going to be doing maintenance on the property itself. You've got painters and roofing specialists, foundation specialists. Well, in the future, if we see a lot of these jobs start to disappear, you may see people saying, well, I'll just do it all. Problem is they may not do it all well. Not all real estate agents are created equal. I can promise you that. You need a good one to represent you when you're buying or selling real estate, like me. If you'd like to reach out and have me help you buy or sell a home, you can find me at the BiggerPockets Agent Finder tool. And if I'm not in your area, there's tons of other agents that you can interview to see who might be the right fit for you. So head to BiggerPockets.com/agent match today. So Christian, what's your advice for somebody who doesn't know if their loan officer or their agent is actually good? They're interviewing someone to know, can you help me grow my real estate portfolio? What are some questions they should ask to know if they have the right fit?
Yeah, I think number one, does the loan officer only provide one product? That's a huge one, right? Being able to grow with you and pivot to different products as you change your investing strategy. Most people on BiggerPockets are not a one and done type of buyer, right? It's not like you're buying a primary residence and you're living in it for 30 years. Most people in BiggerPockets are wanting to grow. They're wanting to build wealth through real estate. And having a loan officer that can grow with you is vital to that process, being accomplished, right? I mean, outside of that, just when you talk to somebody, are you getting an aura? Now, granted, they could be a really good, snake oil salesman, but are you getting an aura that they understand what they're talking about, right? Have they done their research? Do they know guidelines? Are you talking to two loan officers and one's telling you what you're trying to do won't work and one's telling you, oh, well, maybe I can get it done? Like, don't just go for the pie in the sky dream. Like, if a loan officer is telling you this won't work because of ABC, he probably knows this stuff, right? He's probably advising you correctly and protecting your deposit, not allowing you to go put a $30,000 deposit down just to lose it because the loan doesn't get approved. Conversations like that are absolutely the place to start. Brokers are a great place because they know a lot of different products, but even local banks, they could be the answer. Biggest recommendation is talk to them and see who fits what you're trying to accomplish best.
Now, when you're talking to them, here's some advice that I'll provide. A couple things I like to look for because you can never know how good the person is or isn't. I tend in the algorithm of my own brain, I put weight towards how long they've been in business or more importantly, how much they do, how much business they do. Are they a top producer? Now, doing a lot of business is not a guarantee they're good, but odds are if they sucked, they wouldn't have stayed in business for a long time. And if you do a lot of deals, it's very hard to stay sucking. You will learn the hard way eventually if you do this business for long enough, where the pitfalls are, what the things are you have to ask for, and how to get around those. And hopefully, if you survive for a long period of time, it's because you are a person who operates with integrity and honesty and skill. So whenever I'm looking for real estate agents to represent me, I'm looking for someone to do my loans. I'm looking for a property manager to manage a property. I always ask, how long have you been in business and how many clients do you have? Downside of this, they may be harder to get a hold of. They may not reply to you right away. They might not answer their phone. You may get a Calendly link where they go, yeah, set up something on Calendly, and you have to go through that. You can't just talk to them when it's convenient for you. But the upside is that they're representing all these other people. You will get the benefit of all the wisdom and experience that they've gained from everyone that came before you. They're more likely to do a good job with you.
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't say it better myself. A year to 2 years working for our company is the equivalent, and being at other places like I was in the past, I mean, it's the equivalent of like 10 years of experience with the volume we do, right? I mean, the profiles that you see, the scenarios that you're able to overcome, experience in this industry is just about everything, right? That knowledge building is, invaluable.
All right, Christian, if people want to talk to you directly to get your advice on a loan product that they're interested in, how to scale their own portfolio, or if they've got a loan officer they're talking to and they're like, how do I know if this person's shady or not? How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, great question. All consultation calls are free, guys. Best way to reach me on Instagram at @the1broker is my tag. And our website for general information is the1brokerage.com.
And you can find about me at davidgreen24.com or anywhere on social media at davidgreen24. Send me a DM, send me a message, check out my website. Let me know what's on your mind and what we can do to help scale your portfolio. And as always, check out biggerpockets.com. We have an amazing forum full of tons of questions that people have asked, blogs where you can read articles written by other real estate investors. The biggerpockets.com/store link has tons of books. I've written about 7 for them myself. Really good information to help you grow, scale, maintain, rehab, manage everything that you need to build a portfolio to protect your financial future. Thanks everybody for listening. If you've got a second, please leave us a comment here on YouTube. Let us know if there's something you think that we should have covered, and let us know what you'd like to see on future shows. Also, take a minute to subscribe to the channel. If you've got a minute, check out another video, and if not, we will catch you next week on Mortgage Mondays.